I can remember the flyer almost as clearly as the day I came across it my freshman year in college, tacked up to one of the bulletin boards in the mail room of my dorm, alongside a request for a non-smoking vegan roommate to live off campus and a solicitation promising cold hard cash for participating in a psych study. There it was, modestly notifying the general public that a campus Christian organization was sponsoring a guest speaker who would present scientific proof of the resurrection of Christ. Scientific proof of the resurrection of Christ? Someone go tell the physics department. Someone circulate this to the biologists and the history professors. Heck, someone call CNN. This is going to be huge. And you know, even then, in my bemused state of agnosticism, I remember thinking how sad it was that religion seemed to feel the need to pimp itself out to scientific thought categories in this way. As if proving faith were not a complete oxymoron. As if what we feel, sense, and believe of God could ever wander over to the other neighborhood and triumph in a rumble on science's turf. It was ludicrous. It signaled how central scientific ideas have become in our culture, how desperately they have fundamentalists running scared. But it also raised an important question. What is the role of faith in a world such as ours? Today's famous story of doubting Thomas from our gospel provides a clue. First thing we learn is that the disciples have locked the doors where they are sequestered away. Quite literally, their fears have them locked into hiding. Jesus steps into this place of anxiety and says, "Peace be with you." They rejoice, and in their joy, he sends them into the world to forgive sins in his name. So this mysterious encounter, this visitation by Jesus, moves them from constriction and fear to expansiveness and joy and mission. Where is Thomas? Was it his turn to take the guy's robes down to the laundromat? Is he out making a grocery run? Who knows? But Thomas will not be swayed by a bunch of wide-eyed, head-in-the-clouds fellow disciples. He wants proof, tangible proof. He wants to touch the wounds himself. Clearly, it is doubt that has Thomas all locked up. So again, Jesus appears in the closed room, again wishes peace on the disciples, and then presents himself to Thomas, who believes and is transformed. But notice, the story never tells us that Thomas actually touches Jesus. He goes straight to "My Lord and my God." And Jesus says, "Having seen me, you believe." The empirical demands seem to fall away for Thomas as he drinks in this encounter with his rabbi and friend. He does not rush around to set up a control group, or perform statistical analysis or try to publish the story in Scientific Roman. It's Easter too, give me a break. He has an experience, a personal faith experience that leads him to say, "My Lord and my God." So Jesus' appearance do not prompt his followers to seek objective verification of what has happened to them. Jesus' appearance are subjective, as is any faith encounter. What they do is awaken to in his believers a joy that overpowers fear, a belief that outshines doubt. They send his disciples out to transform the world and offer others new life in his name, as Peter begins to do in today's passage from Acts. Fine, we may say, but Jesus doesn't appear out of thin air in crowded rooms anymore, alive and ready to convince us beyond a shadow of a doubt of his power. We are living in an age of skepticism, not an age of miracles. And maybe that's true. Or maybe we're looking for old school biblical style miracles and missing the kind of miracles that are really right in front of us. Take a deep breath for a minute. Really fill your lungs with air. That's a miracle. Think of all the people in your life who have helped you make your way. They are miracles. Think of those moments, however fleeting, when a sense of God's presence has come upon you. Those are miracles too. Take a deep breath. In his memoir, The Sacred Journey, the author Frederick Buechner recalls a period in his childhood after his father's death by suicide, when he, his brother, and his mother moved to Bermuda to begin what would be a lifelong process of healing. Looking back on that time, Buechner imagines that this healing could be explained in common sense terms. Time passed and the boy grew up a bit. Or even in psychological terms, the terms of his day having to do with edible complexes, etc. He acknowledges the validity of these approaches to reality, but then he goes on to say this: faith, says the author of the Epistle to the Hebrews, is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. And looking back at those distant years, I choose not to deny either the compelling sense of an unseen giver, a series of hidden gifts, as not only another part of reality, but the deepest part of all. Amen.